In Mark Shapiro's end-of-year press conference, he confirmed the Jays will have around the same team budget as 2023, which means with some expensive free agents leaving and the growing contracts of the arbitration players, the Jays will have roughly $60 million to spend this free agency. It's not a crazy amount, but more than enough to do some splurging on guys like Cody Bellinger or any of the big name starting pitching options out there. Oh yeah, also Ohtani, but let's be realistic here. The Jays will need to buy some big bats, potentially a starter and a reliever, a sum that could get to $60 million rather quickly, so they may look to acquire a player through trade to keep the payroll down. But who exactly do they have to offer? Well, you're about to find out. First off, we have Santiago Espinal. In 2021, when the Jays had everybody in their lineup seemingly mashing home runs, it's easy to forget just how good SP was. In 92 games, he hit .311 with a .376 OBP and a .781 OPS. It was at this time we were all thinking, wow, Espinal could be our second baseman of the future. Could you blame us though? He barely struck out, hit for a great average, and played solid defense. Unfortunately, we were wrong. In 2022, he enjoyed an okay year. He hit for more power and walked more, but his entire slash line took a hit and his OPS was a tick below the league average. Now fast forward to 2023, where his decline continued, including once again all four numbers in his slash line taking a pretty significant hit. Now you may be thinking, well, he probably doesn't have that much trade value, and you're right, but all we need to do is trade for some prospects or cash considerations, and that would save us almost $3 million that he's expected to make in arbitration. That $3 million could then be spent elsewhere, and it's not like the Jays would miss his services, because it seems like they will roll with a lefty-righty platoon in Kevin Biggio and Davis Schneider at second base to start the season. Next up is Brandon Barriera. The Blue Jays drafted him in the first round of the 2022 MLB draft, straight out of high school. And in his first professional season at just 19 years old, he produced an ERA just under 4 in 7 appearances. Not bad. But the reason why he's a guy that the Jays could move on from is the fact that Ross Atkins seems to love dealing his first round picks away. Like Jordan Groshans, 2018 first rounder who was dealt for Zach Pop and Anthony Bass. Austin Martin from 2020 in the deal for Jose Barrios, and Gunnar Hoagland from 2021 in the deal for Matt Chapman. His track record of trading first round picks means that we have to take in consideration that trading another one wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. Brandon is also a ways away from the major league level, with an estimated time of arrival being 2026. So trading a guy who is great value for an MLB ready player is not a bad option at all. Moving on, Nate Pearson is another name that could be thrown around. The man who was once a top prospect in the MLB has still yet to make an impact on the major league level. I was rooting for the guy. I even have his jersey right here. But unfortunately, he has never turned into the guy we thought he would. In his 52 appearances since 2020, he's a 5 ERA, and in 2023, his issue of not having a secondary pitch killed him, because he was great 7 or 8 times out of 10, but the times he didn't have his fastball working, he was slammed, since he didn't have another pitch that he could use to help bail him out. That's why he still holds some value on the trade market. Without a doubt, there's a team out there that have seen Nate, the electric fastball, the velocity, the fact that he's a former top prospect, and say, hey, let's take a flyer on him. As for the Jays, Nate would most definitely be an add-on in a package deal, and while it would be tough to let go of a guy who is thought to be the future anchor of your rotation, it seems like it may be time to move on from the Nate Pearson story and give him a fresh opportunity. Next up is another guy who might need a fresh start, Alek Manoah. Let me start off by saying no, absolutely not, don't trade him this offseason. I think it would be a huge mistake to trade a guy when his value is at his lowest when he put together 2 impressive seasons prior. But I do have to be real here. When Alek was officially shut down in early September, there was talk that the relationship between the club and player was damaged. And if Alek wants out of what he thinks is a bad environment, then the Jays will have to at least listen to trade offers. Not to mention, it is already reported that a bunch of teams are gearing up to acquire him. He would without a doubt give a nice return, but again, please don't trade him, Ross. And finally, Chad Dallas. He's a name that isn't too well known at the moment, but he enjoyed a solid year in AA. The former 4th round pick out of the University of Tennessee led the entire Jays minor league system in innings pitched and punch-outs while maintaining a decent 4.1 ERA. He holds a 5-pitch arsenal of a 4-seamer, slider, curveball, changeup, and a cutter to get his opponents out, and he's currently the Jays' number 13 prospect, but expect his status to rise when the rankings refresh for next year. Another intriguing aspect of trading Dallas is that he is already 23 years old, meaning he could provide a team looking for a major league starter sooner rather than later, giving him some decent value as an add-on prospect in a trade. There we have it. These are the 5 guys who I think are the biggest trade candidates the Jays have. Let me know in the comments if you agree or if I've missed someone. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest regarding the Jays offseason, and I will see you in the next one.